Happy Monday and good noon. I'm Michelle Gooch with Life by Design. I partner with people who are wanting to move forward in life and need a little extra support to do it. If you're feeling a little chaotic or a little stuck, come find me at lifebydesign.guru, www.lifebydesign.guru. She was born into poverty to a teenage single mom. The first 6 years of her life, she was raised by her grandmother. She had no real connection to her mother. When she was 6 years old, her grandmother died, and she was sent to live with her mother, this woman that she didn't really know. When she arrived on the front porch of the boarding house where her mother lived, let me pause for a minute and tell you that her mother had light skin, and she had given birth to a half-sister that this girl had never met, and the half-sister was part white, so she had really light skin, lighter than her mother's. But this girl, this 6-year-old that stepped onto the porch, had dark skin, very dark skin, and very coily hair. And when she arrived, the owner of the boarding house said she could not come inside. So her mother proceeded to put her on the back porch. She's 6 years old. The grandmother, the one person in her life that had nurtured her, is dead. She's with a woman that she doesn't know, and she's been relegated to sleep on the back porch. And then repeatedly in her childhood, from that point forward, she was molested by multiple people in the family. She ran away at a young age. At 14, she found herself pregnant and gave birth to a premature baby who did not live. This is her beginning. This is how her life starts. That's a part of her story you may not have ever heard, but you do know who she is. We call her Oprah. Oprah is known all over the world and by many publications and notable individuals have said she's the most influential woman in the world, most powerful woman in the world. In fact, Life magazine put her in the list of the 100 people who have changed the world. On that list is Jesus and Elvis and Oprah. She's the only living woman on the list. Do you understand what she's overcome? We just know her as Oprah. We just know her as successful and vital and active in the world and contributing and bringing value, but we may not know her history. I had the privilege of attending Oprah 2020 Vision. This past weekend, she was here in the Dallas area, and I was able to spend the day there, and it was a real privilege and an honor to be present and to hear her tell pieces of her story. She did not tell all the stuff that I just told you, but she told pieces of her story. What my takeaway was from that weekend is that she said, and it's so true, all stress comes from not accepting the moment we are currently in. So if you're sitting in the middle of traffic and you're stressed out about it, you're gripping the steering wheel and you're grinding your teeth and you're yelling at the guy that's trying to get in front of you, it's because you haven't accepted the moment. Hey, you're in traffic. This is what happens this time of day or this area of the world or whatever. Just accept the moment. All stress comes from not accepting the moment. You think about traffic, you think about being late to work, all the different things. You're going to discover that she's right about that. So accept the moment. The other big takeaway, and there were tons, but I'll limit mine to 2 today. She repeatedly says we all have the capacity, the power to exceed our limitations. If anyone knows about limitations, it's Oprah Winfrey when you hear that part of her story. And she constantly said, hey, we have the capacity, the power to overcome our limitations. And she has definitely demonstrated that. She was not yet on the national stage when she got the invitation to be on one of the late night shows. I'm guessing Johnny Carson. I don't know if that's true, but one of the late night shows. And she was interviewed by Joan Rivers. And as any of these shows go, you know what the questions are, and the producer knows what your answers are. They want to know where it goes. She showed us a clip from this show. She was proud of the dress she had made, the fancy shoes she was wearing. She expected Joan Rivers to point out her shoes and say, "Girl, those are awesome." But instead, Joan Rivers said, "How'd you gain the weight?" That was not one of the questions she was expecting. She did not have an answer to that question. And she gave the answer something simple like, "I ate a lot of food." And then Joan Rivers began to shame her, shake her finger at her, "No, no, no," and went into this little rant of shaming, publicly shaming her on national TV. It was her first time to be on national TV. Think about all the limitations I've already told you in your life. And then that moment, her first moment to be on national TV, and that's what happened. And still, she overcame so much. So my challenge for us, my encouragement for us is, man, we have the capacity, we have the power. We can tap into that power to exceed whatever limitations have been put on us. Really, you and I, we have no excuses. So do a little research on her life, find out her story, and keep that in mind, that you can overcome whatever limitations are in your way. I'll see you next Monday.